Today we will be discussing quadratic equations.
You throw a rock straight up into the air from 3 meters above the ground. With a velocity of 14 meters per second, when will it hit the ground? Take some time right now to solve this equation. The equation will be negative 5t squared plus 14t plus 3 equals 0. This will be in the equation because it is changing position about 5 meters per second because gravity will be pulling the rock down. 14t is how fast the rock will be traveling upwards. It will be traveling 14 meters per second upwards. 3 is in this equation because the rock is being thrown 3 meters off the ground. The first method we will be discussing is factoring. Using the original equation, you have to multiply all of the terms by -1. You should then get the equation 5t squared minus 14t minus 3 equals 0. Then you will need to factor the left side. When factoring, be sure to check after finding the given numbers in the parentheses. When factoring, you should have gotten t minus 3 and 5t plus 1. After that, you will need to split the equation into 2. T minus 3 equals 0 and 5t plus 1 equals 0. You will need to add 3 to both sides of the equation, and you will get t equals to 3. On this side of the equation, you will need to subtract 1 from both sides, and you will get t equals -1 over 5. In this equation, you will get t equals to 3 and t equals to -5. -5 is impossible because time cannot be negative, so therefore t would only equal to 3. The next method we will be discussing is completing the square. Starting with the original equation, you will need to subtract 3 from both sides. Then you will get -5t plus 14t equals -3. After that, you will need to divide everything by -5. You will then get t squared plus minus 14 over 5t equals to 3 over 5. After that, you will need to solve for a. 2at equals -14 over 5. So then you would need to divide everything by 2, and a will then equal to -7 over 5. After finding a, you will need to add that into the equation. T squared plus -14 over 5t plus -7 over 5 squared equals 3 over 5 plus, oh no, we'll just move it down to the bottom. Will then equal to 3 over 5 plus -7 over 5 squared. Then you will need to simplify the equation. For this part, I actually kept this part the same and then simplified this part first. So I then got 64 over 25. Now after doing that, you will need to complete the square. So that means that you will be doing this. Then you will need to find this. T minus 7 over 5 equals square root 64 over 25. Add 7 over 5 to both sides of the equation and you will get 3. T minus 7 over 5 equals negative 64 over 25. Add 7 over 5 to both sides and you will get negative 1 over 5. Again, those two are the answers, and they are the same as when we did factoring earlier. So this means that the ball will hit the ground after 3 seconds because negative 1 over 5 is impossible. After using one of the two methods, we will now be graphing the equation. You will get negative 1 over 5 and 3. This means that you should have to plot the points negative 1 over 5, 0, and 3, 0. The end result will be a parabola. This is a parabola, by the way. Hitting a maxima of 14, as shown in the original equation. This will then be the graph of the equation. And then it will be hitting the maxima of 14 and then coming back down. The graph is a downward opening parabola.
Okay, so right now I'm going to show you how to solve a quadratic equation using a table. So first you have to turn on your graph and then you will have to press the y equals sign at the top left-hand corner of your calculator. Then this should pop up and then you will need to plug in your equation. And then plus 14x plus 3. Then enter and then press graph, which is right here. And then your graph should pop up as so. After this, you will need to go to the top, this area, and press second, and then press graph once more, and then you can see the table with all of the coordinates. If you press the up and down button, you can see all of the numbers, goes to infinity. And the numbers that I used was -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. You know that this is the equation because that is the y-intercept.
Thank you for watching my video. Tune in next time on Kelsey and Quadratics.